Giants of racing are ready to rumble at the foot of the Alleghenies. But will Mother Nature play nice with the monsters of motorsports? The stage is set. The lines are drawn. Every seat is filled. And with a storm looming, 4 fierce renegades are primed to stake their claim as the quest for the brand new title begins here. The Renegade Monster Truck Tour starts now.
You're looking out over the Western Allegheny Plateau as we get ready for the inaugural running of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour for an abbreviated 2020 season, but these fans have packed this place. We're getting ready to see these monster trucks live in action. These guys have been waiting a long time for things to get back to at least somewhat normal, and they have brought the best of the best here to the Westmoreland Fair. You can see these fans packing this place, getting ready to start the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. We've got 4 big bad monsters along with some of the best tough truckers in the Northeast ready to go, and we'll be introducing you to the Wayne's Towing and Recovery Mini Monsters later on today. And as you can see from these shots from earlier, we were fighting the weather when we came in here, hoping the rain would hold off, and so far it did. Now before we get into action though, we've got to take a look at our field of trucks. That field will start with the rookie Joe Lockhart driving the legendary name Barely Tame away from the industry after nearly 30 years. He brings the big bad Blue Ford back into action here this weekend. Then the better half of the Rettew Motorsports camp, Pretty Wicked, the other 96 Ford being piloted by Lindsay Rettew out of Dover, Delaware with that brand new livery. Then the second generation hotshot Corey Snyder out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, Toxic. Getting ready to run them down here this afternoon. And of course, the man himself, ZANE Rettew out of Dover, Delaware, and the wild woolly Stinger Unleashed. See what he has for the rest of the competition. Now, as I said, these fans have packed in here to see these monsters take to this track and do what they do. It's been a long wait for a lot of these people up here in the Keystone State. They finally reopened and they are ready to roll here with the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. First up will be our best trick competition, and first up in that competition, the 96 Ford out of Dover, Delaware, Lindsay Rettew, Pretty Wicked. Strong move to open things up. She makes a statement. Got on the brakes a little bit right there as she slammed the nose down. Now it's 2 hits. Here in this best trick competition, she rips off a donut. Never thought she was gonna stop. How about Lindsay Rettew in Pretty Wicked, dancing on the moon? Look at that big ring of dust she left out there. This dirt was wet too from the rain earlier, and she dug herself down to that nice dry soil underneath. Awesome start again. Look at the sky wheel. He got that thing nice and vertical onto that race ramp as she bounced down. As I said, a little bit out as she hit the brakes right there. I'm not sure why. And then we're going to look at this donut again from the overhead. Cut the rear, cut the front, laid into it hard, gets a score of 23 to open things up. That is a good score, and you will see what I'm talking about as we go through this competition now. The rookie Joe Lockhart out of Oil City, Pennsylvania, in Barely Tame, the competition debut of this machine with the legendary name on board, the rookie driver at the wheel. Joe, not much time in training back down there in Delaware. Literally a couple minutes in the truck is all he had. Let's see what he goes. Not bad. Just getting his feet wet right now. We'll see what Joe Lockhart has for hit number 2. So far, so good. take a set as he throws it into a donut right there on the far end. Not quite the rotation that Lindsay Rettew got, but a solid run for the rookie. Throwing an extra hit in there for the fans. That will not be counted, but not a bad way to start off your monster truck driving career as we take another look at that opening sky wheelie. His score coming in, it'll be an 18, so he will not take the lead, but not bad. Didn't overdrive it, didn't underdrive it. Good crowd on hand here in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, the Westmoreland Fair for the inaugural running of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour here 2020 as we get set to bring out Cory SNYDER out of Bethesda, Maryland. Toxic, second generation driver. His father Jay campaigning the Screaming Demon name for a while and then getting his own name out there with the Illuminator. Runs an event lighting company, has a full-time job, and believe me, it shows on this vehicle, the LEDs underneath a signature, and when the sun goes down here later tonight, you will see the best of what that truck has to offer aesthetically. Cory now lining up for his first hit. Let's see what Toxic can do here in the best trick competition. Strong opening move for SNYDER as he heads, it looks like, for the popper ramp over on the end zone. There you get a good look underneath the Toxic. You see the LEDs I was talking about. He's setting up for something. Let's see what he can do. Reverse move right there, just over the top of our camera as he put it on the rear tires. An impressive run for the big Ford out of Maryland, Cory SNYDER in Toxic, making that Richard Midget horsepower work for him. Don't think he got quite what he wanted out of that, though. It was spectacular. It'll be a score of 22 for Toxic. Not quite enough to take over the lead, but again, a strong statement to get things started here with the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. And now the wild man, ZANE Rettew. Stinger Unleashed out of Dover, Delaware. The patriarch of the Rettew Motorsports clan, originally out of Pennsylvania, now making their home in Dover, Delaware, over on the peninsula. And nice compound over there. ZANE right to the popper ramp. Going for the stoppie, a little bit out of shape right there, but he made it work for him. Comes back around. Gonna take a second shot at it. Up on the nose. Carrying it out, trying to get it into the moonwalk, just didn't work for him. So far, nobody's run over that camera, and a little bit of an extra one for ZANE Rettew right there for the fans here in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Stinger Unleashed, laying it down. Big cheer from the crowd as Rettew comes out to accept the accolades, turning them on here at the Westmoreland Fair. It's Renegade Monster Trucks. What a way to close up that best trick competition. You can see this was his second hit, got it straight up and down right there, and the trick is to kind of let it want to go over. It'll actually drag itself forward, and then he tried to get it back into the moonwalk. Couldn't quite get it there, but he may have done enough. We wait on the scores. Did he take out that 23 his wife laid down earlier in competition? Yes, he did. At 25, ZANE Rettew. Stinger Unleashed with the best trick victory, followed by Lindsay Rettew and Pretty Wicked. Toxic with the 22 right there, and Joe Lockhart, not a bad showing to start things off. He will pick things up, I guarantee you, as we continue on this season with the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. Now we go to Tough Truck action, round number 1. They'll run 2 rounds of time trials, and then we will bring our Fast 4 back for the Tough Truck Shootout. Leon Hostetter out of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, in the chaotic racing entry, and You look at the front part of the roof there, you can see he has put that truck on its top. The light goes green and he takes off. Showering down our cameraman with sand right there. Hard hit to the front end as he came around that suicide turn. Big hit right off our camera. 4 monster trucks on the track haven't hit that thing, and Leon did it a 20.78-second run to set the pace. And I think that's the end of the Groundhog Cam for the night as Karen Wasaki out of Marengo, Ohio takes off. And Grandma's toy, Grandpa's headache, and she is running hard. Very aggressive lady out of the Buckeye State. This Grand Cherokee headed around the final corner very, very quickly. We'll see what the time is. Hard hit there at the end, and 22.19 will not take the top spot, so Hostetter hanging in there for the moment. As another guy who's known to be quick, Midnight Madness 4x4s, Charlie Wagner, our old buddy out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the Daimler Tire Service entry. We'll see what he can do as he gets real aggressive on the first leg. Tremendously fast first turn. Tight final corner, up and over the ramp. Cross the finish line, Charlie up on 20.49-second run. Your new fast time, Charlie Wagner out of Harrisburg. Running hard. Next up, Josh Funk out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I've seen this guy land a Jeep on its side, literally on the passenger side door, so you know he's not afraid to flat-foot it if he needs to, and he is making tracks right now. Big leap over the penultimate jump and across the finish line. Should be a good time, 21.32 seconds. Now going to take the top spot. That'll put him in third place. Charlie Wagner still leading in the Daimler's Tire Service entry. Up next, member of Team Green right here. This is Corey Pappas out of Fawn Grove, Pennsylvania. Famous for the Disorder at the Border Championship. One of the greats, a hard landing on the front end. One of the Harrisburg regulars. Interesting final corner right there as he almost missed that second to last jump across the finish line. 19.20 seconds to take the top spot. But right behind him, out of Quarryville, Pennsylvania, famous for the buck, this is Zachary GRAYBEAL, a champion in his own right. Very aggressive first leg into the first full corner. Dirt tracking it right there. Looks good, but that is going to slow him down. He's all over the place coming to the final corner. And a big bobble right there coming down the final stretch. A wild run, but a 22.16 will not get him in the Fast Four, and you can see him shaking his head right there. He is going to be more critical of that run than anyone else now. Here comes a wild man from the Keystone State, our buddy Chris Wolf out of Waynesboro. That silver and blue Grand Cherokee, this guy is always fun to watch. Pushing hard right now. He told me the only thing he wants out of this show is to make the highlight reel. We'll see if he does. Oh, he might do it with that as he hits it up on the side. Not going to take the top spot, but he will make the highlight reel at a 22.53. Not a bad run at all as we bring our next competitor to the line. That'll be another member of the GRAYBEAL family. That is Keith GRAYBEAL out of Quarryville, Pennsylvania. Black Cherokee Sport. We'll see. Well, he sat there for a long time. That might have hurt his time. When the light went green, he did not take off right away. Got a fairly good run going, but something does not seem right in that thing. It's lagging a little bit now as he comes around the corner. There appears to be maybe some mechanical problems with this machine. Finish up there at a 23:43. Made his run. It wasn't bad. He was on track. He was making tracks when he got through that first corner, but as he got down the second leg, there were problems. Now another member of Team Green, Josh Johnson. This guy is super fast. Do not take your eye off of this one. Beautiful first turn as he heads down the second leg to the suicide corner. Around the monster truck racing ramps and headed for home. Big leap across the finish line. At a 21:42, not a bad run at all for Josh Johnson. That'll wrap up our first round of Tough Trucks. Take a look at the Fast 5 board. Remember, it's the Fast 4 that go to the finals. Josh Johnson sitting just outside of there. Josh Funk sitting on the bump spot in number 4. But you look up top, Corey Pappas with that 1920. Nobody even got near him. Very, very fast run for the little Jeep out of Fawn Grove. Then it's our buddy Charlie Wagner and Leon Hostetter there in the number 3. And as I said, Josh Funk sitting on that bump spot. Josh Johnson would love to jump up there and knock him out. Hey, don't go away. We got more coming at you. When we come back, we're going to introduce you to the Wayne's Towing and Recovery Minis. Stay with us.
Remember being a little kid, playing in the sandbox with your toy truck? Dreaming of the day you could pilot a real 1,500 horsepower monster truck? Well, now you can. DriveRealMonsterTrucks.com, located just outside of Dover, Delaware, offers a state-of-the-art training facility on a huge outside track, which allows you, the fan, to get strapped into one of the very monster trucks you are watching perform today. DriveRealMonsterTrucks.com puts you in a once-in-a-lifetime experience with a professional monster truck driver who will coach you through your day of practicing competitive race passes, wheelies, jumping, throttle rhythm, and end your day competing in your very own 90 seconds no rules freestyle, all while on-site safety officials and Renegade technicians stand by to ensure your day is safe and the truck stays operating at the highest level possible. No strings attached. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience for you to pilot a full state-of-the-art monster truck. All experiences are recorded on video, both from the ground and also on board, so you can continue to remember your driving debut for years to come. Schedule your day of insane fun now at DriveRealMonsterTrucks.com and on Facebook at Drive Real Monster Trucks.
Back at the Westmoreland Fairgrounds in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, getting set for round number 1 of side-by-side monster truck racing. But before we do that, we wanted to introduce you to the Wayne's Towing and Recovery Minis. That is Garrett Rettew, the driver of the Pretty Wicked Mini. You can see how intense he is as he gets ready to head out for his best trick attempt. Half-scale version of the big trucks. A lot less horsepower, but just as much guts and daring as their 12,000-pound counterparts. Big hit for Garrett in the best trick attempt right there, and he was happy with it. As he popped out now, the newest member of the Rettew Motorsports clan, Logan Lockhart, son of Joe Lockhart, just getting his feet wet, but a good sky wheelie out of him right there. He's coming along very, very quickly at the wheel of the Barely Tame Mini, and then carrying the flagship for the Wayne's Towing and Recovery sponsorship, CJ Rettew, the oldest brother of the Rettew brothers, going after the popper ramp in the Stinger Unleashed Mini. Big wheelie out of him right there. Very confident driver, very competent driver. He's gutsy. Not only that, he's also good on a mic.
I put that thing on a wheelie bar a couple times and almost flipped it.
Well, we'll see what happens tonight. How about a big give up for TJ Rettew? The Steve Riley's Wayne's Towing and Recovery Mini Monster Truck.
The Wayne's Towing and Recovery Minis keeping the crowd pumped up as we get ready for round number 1 of side-by-side monster truck racing as the sun sets over the grandstands. Out rolls ZANE RETTEW and Stinger Unleashed out of Dover, Delaware. He will take on that guy right there, Joe Lockhart, the rookie out of Oil City, Pennsylvania, in Barely Tame, sponsored by Wayne's Towing and Recovery. About to make his first competitive race pass at the wheel of a monster truck, and he is a tough opponent. The boss over there in the right lane, Joe, will prove very quickly whether or not he belongs behind the wheel of one of these 12,000-pound racing giants. We'll see how he does in his first race pass. First pairing of round number 1 ready to go. Not bad at all for Joe Lockhart. A very impressive first pass, but experience pays off. A 4:24 elapsed time for ZANE RETTEW, but that 0.2 of a second margin right there shows you Joe gave him a good race. Just experience definitely paying off, and Joe, to me, just showed that he belongs in the seat of one of these trucks. He's still going to have a ways to go, but very, very good pass. You can see he got a little out of shape there in no man's land. ZANE made a nice straight race pass. He pulls the trigger of a final jump, and so did Joe. Got back in the throttle, a little bit of a hard landing. Might have let off a little too much, but it was a good, solid run. At the very least, a competent pass. At best, a competitive pass. Joe Lockhart trying to earn his stripes right now on his first night of competition at the wheel of the Wayne's Towing and Recovery Barely Tame monster truck. Our next pair getting ready to roll to the line. Lindsay RETTEW and Pretty Wicked. Corey SNYDER in Toxic. Was supposed to be the pairing anyway. Jay Snyder just ran over to tell Mark Albert that there is a problem with the Toxic Ford. It has not fired yet. I don't know if they're having an electrical problem or something else, but you can see Corey is ready to go. He's now on a 2-minute clock to get to the starting line. Pretty Wicked rolling out. Lindsay just shortened that clock a lot as she rolls out to the staging area. Looks like we're going to get a bye run now out of Pretty Wicked. Unfortunately, Corey... Well, no, now we hear fire from the pit area. Snyder has gotten it fired. He will make the call. Maybe a false alarm, a little drama there before our second pass of the night. Corey SNYDER in Toxic. Gonna give Lindsay a race. We were about to have a RETTEW final round. She still had to make a legal pass to get into the finals. Or believe it or not, Joe would have had to come back and make another round against ZANE RETTEW. Wouldn't have been bad for Joe to get into a final round race, but now it's either going to be Lindsay RETTEW and Pretty Wicked or Corey SNYDER in Toxic. The big black and green Ford out of Maryland up against the multicolored Ford out of the state of Delaware. It's SNYDER up against RETTEW here in the final pairing of round number 1. A little bit of a rough ride there for Lindsay through no man's land. Corey SNYDER going to get the victory. She gave him a race, but she probably will not be happy with that run. A 5:12. He actually ran slower than did ZANE RETTEW. So, on paper right now, it looks like RETTEW is going to be the favorite to win the racing championship here tonight in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Not a bad run for Lindsay, but you saw her bouncing around a bit there in no man's land. Now as we bring the tough trucks back out for their second round of time trials. Remember, it's the Fast Four that come out of these first 2 rounds. They'll compete in a 4-truck shootout. Final round of time to beat a 1920 laid down by Corey Pappas. Leon Hostetter on the line out of Palmyra, Pennsylvania. He was very aggressive in the first round. He's on the board right now, but he'd like to cement that time by putting up an even faster run. Also, you see they're going around to the right-hand side of the track, so they got some fresh dirt to play on over there as Hostetter getting a little out of shape coming into that suicide turn, but he straightens it out and heads for the finish line, although that might hurt him. Big leap across the end and almost over on his side as he got into the bottom ramp. We'll see, he kind of skirted the boundaries there. With that 1823, he'll take the top spot. I thought they might penalize him, but he didn't eliminate part of the course, but he did kind of go in between the monster truck race ramp and the tough truck ramp. as Karen Wasaki out of Marengo, Ohio, rolls out. Grandma's toy, Grandpa's headache. She was very, very aggressive in her first round pass, but did not make it onto the board. We'll see if she can do it out of this round number 2. Time to beat the 1823 you just saw laid down by Leon Hostetter. She gets green and off she goes.
Fixed out there on the track. I was wondering why all my stuff.
A little bit wide into the final corner. That's going to hurt her. But again, getting real aggressive. A lot cleaner pass than her first one at 21.76. So she improved on her time. But it's not going to be enough to get her into the Fast Four shootout at the end of the night. Up next, Charlie Wagner, one of the most aggressive guys out here out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Check him out on YouTube at Midnight Madness 4x4. The Daimler's Tire Service Jeep Cherokee. Charlie taking the green and taking off hard. Nice corner right there and straight over that ramp. Big leap across the end. Another wild finish for Charlie Wagner.
A nice run, 20.84 for Charles, number 1, 2-0.
So he'll hold himself in there. Looks like he's going to keep himself on the board at a 20.84 as Josh Funk now rolls on out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
And we are going green.
He was good in round 1. Can he do it again in round number 2? I think it's still a little slick on that side of the track. I didn't see much action. A wild turn. Headed down the home stretch. Big leap across the finish line. Just narrowly missed collecting that popper ramp. Good heads-up driving for Josh Funk as we wait on the time. 21:01. Not the time he was looking for. And now, the pace setter from earlier today, Corey Pappas, laid down a 19:20 in round number 1. You know he can go faster.
Corey Pappas, one more turn.
A little bit squirrely on that run. It wasn't a bad run. It was very quick, very smooth, but to 20.03, so he didn't improve on his time. He'll still be riding at 19:20 on in to hopefully the finals. I doubt anybody's going to get too much past what Hostetter laid down, and you're going to have to be nearly perfect to match the run that's currently sitting in second place as Zachary GRAYBEAL rolls out. If anyone can do it, this guy can definitely do it. Got a broken front diff. Something going away in that truck as he does it. Donut kicking up the dust over there on the starting line. He'll come down the home stretch. He is in no way going to make it on the board. Yeah, he's got some broken parts under the front end of that truck. 28.86. He came out ready to go. It's just not going to happen. Wiping the dust out of his eyes. Chris Wolf now out of Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. Definitely one of the wild men of round number 1. Let's see what he's got here in round number 2. A little more conservative than his first round pass. Nice run there. Pulling the trigger over the finish line. Jump 21.52 is not going to get him into the Fast Four, but it was a solid run. Nothing to be ashamed of for this guy tonight. He made it count every time he went down the track. A good run for Chris Wolf as he'll put that Jeep back on the trailer now. Joshua Johnson, another member of Team Green in this multicolored Jeep out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This guy went hard round 1. You see how hard he comes off the starting line. And Man, that thing hooked up coming out.
Coming around the final turn.
Big jump across the finish line, and again, just narrowly missing that popper ramp. 1968. So he will definitely be in the Fast Four. Very, very good bunch of runs right there. And there you see it. Leon Hostetter hanging in there. Put himself actually on the top of the board. Corey Pappas only got knocked down the one spot. Josh Johnson, you just saw run in the 1968. And then Charlie Wagner, the Daimler's Tire Service Midnight Madness 4x4 Jeep. So we've got one out of Chaotic Racing at the top, 2 Team Green members in the middle, and then Charlie Wagner rounding out our Fast Four when we bring those 4 guys back for the final round. In the meantime, we go back to Monster Trucks, our championship race coming to the line. Cory Snyder, ready to go in Toxic. Out of Bethesda, Maryland, he will stage against the patriarch of the RETTEW Motorsports clan out of Dover, Delaware, ZANE RETTEW. Stinger Unleashed, ready to go. He's the favorite coming in. He had the faster of their 2 round 1 times. Cory, though, definitely could give him a run for his money. ZANE ran a 4:24 in round number 1. Cory ran a 5:12. Keep in mind the time that ZANE beat, that Joe Lockhart laid down, was a 5:15. So, Cory getting down there to nearly a second slower. He has got to pick up some time now. He's also in a different lane than he ran his winning run out of. ZANE stayed over there in the right lane. He liked how it felt. We'll see. He's sticking Cory in a new lane. Works to his advantage or works against him. A little bit more tread on those BKTs that ZANE's got than on those China tires you see right there. Cory running on Toxic. It's time for our championship race. Cory Snyder in Toxic against ZANE RETTEW and Stinger Unleashed for the final. What a final round race, and I don't know if it was the lane change or not, but Cory Snyder brought it around. Look at 4:23. Remember, RETTEW ran a 4:24 in the first round, so Cory came up to par with him at the very least and then just ran 300ths of a second faster. So both of those trucks were right on par with each other in that final round. A good hole shot, even start for both of those trucks together to the roller, but Cory a little bit more aggressive off the starting line jump. He got to the second ramp just ahead of RETTEW and carried more momentum over the finish line to take the victory in the inaugural Renegade Monster Truck Tour Racing Championship. Back at the Westmoreland Fairgrounds, getting ready for Monster Truck Freestyle with the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. But before we do that, we got some business to take care of with our Fast Four Tough Trucks. Leon Hostetter with your fast time at an 18:23. And you see Charlie Wagner at the bottom with that 20:84. There's a little twist, though, as we come to the final 4 here. 3 of our 4 trucks broke the front diff. They're running in rear-wheel drive. Only Charlie Wagner was the only one of those 4 who did not break his front differential. He agreed to put his truck in 2-wheel drive to make it even for the final 4 race. Leon Hostetter now taking off, and you can see that thing's in 2-wheel drive as he heads around very, very wide in the corner. That could hurt him big time. He stuffs the front end coming over the suicide jump down the home stretch, and he's got nothing now. That's not going to help him at all. He crosses the finish line, though, so he'll put down the time to beat. Keep in mind, we throw out all the times from the first 2 rounds, so there's your fast time for the moment, a 24:03 for Leon Hostetter. As he'll go out on the hook. Load her out there very, very quickly. They're going to start pulling Leon off right now. Get him out of the way so Charlie can start making his run. A Daimler's Tire Service Jeep out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. There you see, very unfortunate turn of events for Leon. He was very competitive. You can see the front end's locked up completely now, so he's very, very lucky that he was able to roll it across the finish line. And you can see put up time beat 24:03, and I can guarantee you Charlie is going to go faster than that. As long as the truck stays under him, but remember, he's the only one that's not coming into this broken. You can tell, though, he does have the truck in 2-wheel drive, so that was very sportsmanlike of him to match his mettle with the other competitors out here, but he's making an aggressive shot now as he rounds the final corner. A good turn right there, coming for home. Again, a wild landing for the white Jeep out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, as he slides to a stop at a 22:60 to take the top spot. Charlie Wagner going for the money right now. Again, you can check out Charlie's content. You see the GoPro on his helmet. You can check him out at Midnight Madness 4x4 on YouTube. Out rolls Josh Johnson out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and one of many of the Team Green Jeeps. Team Captain Gary Green out here overseeing competition along with the Hostetter camp this weekend at 22:60. The time to beat. Josh can do it. You see him come out of the hole as aggressive as he was earlier. You can see that 2-wheel drive taking its toll as he spun the tires coming off the starting line. Getting through there very nicely. Boy, he just caught an edge of that ramp right there. He could have put himself out of competition. Big jump across the finish line as he bounces his way past that popper ramp. That should take the top spot at 22:01. Will indeed take the #1 spot as our final competitor gets ready to come out. Another member of Team Green out of Fawn Grove, Pennsylvania, Corey Pappas, who ran the fast time in round #1. We'll see if he can take that time back. The man who got past him is now not in the #1 spot. That was Leon Hostetter. His teammate Josh Johnson is the guy he's got to upset to take the money here in Greensburg. Beautiful first corner as he comes down the outside straightaway. Very, very tight right there. Just caught the ramp. Almost a DQ, and then a big launch right past that popper ramp. Waiting on the time, a 20:53 far and away. The quickest here this weekend. Corey Pappas, you see the jubilation in the cockpit of the yellow and black Team Green machine out of Fawn Grove, Pennsylvania. And you see second and third on both ends of the 22-second spectrum right there. Josh Johnson and Charlie Wagner, and then Leon Hostetter taking some money out here in the #4 spot. Not the way he was hoping his night would end, but they put a hurting on these trucks here this weekend. They were running them very, very hard. Our congratulations to Corey Pappas as we now get ready to bring the big trucks back to center stage. Track crew carrying some banners off the track, and Joe Lockhart has Barely Tame fired up the Wayne's Towing and Recovery Barely Tame 96 Ford. Joe out of Oil City, Pennsylvania. First competitive freestyle. I know I keep saying first, but it's very, very important. He has done so well here this evening. We'll see what he has to end things up for himself. How will he do here in freestyle? Good first hit right there. Kind of matching what he did in the best trick. Oh, over on the nose. He got on the brakes. That's something that will come with time, and I guarantee you he's going to get an earful when he gets back to the pits from the boss, because you do not want to get on those brakes when you're in the air like this, especially not off a small jump. But keeping the momentum up, that's something that will come with experience. I could guess right now that he was bracing himself in the cockpit a little bit right there, but he's making a good run here in Barely Tame. Nice hit right there, a little more aggressive than the first. working the track well. He doesn't look fearful of it. He's making a really, really solid run right now to open things up. Throwing into a donut, Joe Lockhart. Get the job done here in Barely Tame. Big hit off the back of the race ramp right there for Joe Lockhart. And again, a little bit on the brakes. I think that wall comes up a lot quicker than you think it would in one of these trucks, and I know he doesn't want to end up over there in the concrete, but not a bad run at all. Let's see what he's got left. Another donut here for Barely Tame. Rear steering kind of running on him a little bit, but not a bad run to start things off at all. Take another look at some of the highlights. There was that first sky wheelie out of the hole, his first competitive freestyle move, and it was, again, a solid move. And then we'll go to his, I believe, second or third hit. You can see much more aggressive. Getting the feel for it. And you'll see in the weeks to come, he will get faster, he'll fly higher, he'll jump further. Now, Lindsay Rettew out of Dover, Delaware, in Pretty Wicked. Comes out to represent the ladies. The wheel of the 96 Ford body Patrick chassis machine of the Rettew Motorsports camp. Right into a donut. Big sky wheelie off the back of the racing lane. On the throttle right there. Right there you can see difference in the experience. Didn't get on the brakes, just kind of let the truck roll out. You'll see, you want to keep the tires moving when you're in the air. Let the truck kind of carry itself. Keep that momentum in the air. Don't let the front end drop out. And she is doing exactly that. Big leap off to the side. Hard hit right there for Lindsay Rettew in Pretty Wicked. Truck soaked it up though. She is laying down a shot right now. This big Ford out of Delaware. Another massive sky wheelie right there. Working the track to perfection. You see a little smoke or steam coming off the back of the truck right there. The truck getting a little hot. What a run from Lindsay Rettew in Pretty Wicked, raising the bar, and she had to beat a score of 19. Gave it a good run, kicking up the dust right there, and this was that wild kind of sideways hit. She took a big sky wheel, and the truck starts to lean to the right-hand side, comes down hard on the right rear. You can break sway bars, bend four-link bars. That could have done more damage, but the truck soaked it up. And she takes the lead with a 21, and again with the big hang time off the back of the racing ramps, definitely. Doing a nice job in Pretty Wicked because she wanted to make life hard on this guy. ZANE Rettew in Stinger Unleashed. Dover, Delaware, the patriarch of the Rettew Motorsports group out of the state of Delaware, originally out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. They come home to Pennsylvania to put on a show for these fans in their old backyard, and he starts things off with a big sky wheelie. Headed back over to that popper ramp. going to line right back up for it. And indeed he will. Here comes the two-wheel move. Into the moonwalk. He was looking for that earlier. He got it there. ZANE, RETTEW, and Stinger unleashed. Stoppy to a moonwalk, and here he goes again. Up on the nose. Didn't carry it out that time, but that'll get him some points with the judges. He'll now cut loose. He's got him warmed up. Playing on house money right now. The fans love those stoppies. They love it even more when you can work it into a moonwalk. Now there's some big hang time for the Stinger Unleashed machine out of Dover, Delaware. Kicking up the dust. Trying to work it into a slap wheelie. Now he's getting some nice hang time out here. That may be to his best interest to just cut it loose and get the big air, because he's knocked the tops off of so many of these ramps. There's not a whole lot of right angles left on this track, so we'll see what he's able to do. He can carry a wheelie. Oh, the best of nice air time off the back of that roller. He's hit just about everything out there. That'll definitely be to his advantage. Another big launch off the racing lane. Down into the end zone. Back to the popper ramp. See if he can get another two-wheel out of it. No, I think he scrubbed too much off the top of that ramp. Took it out of play, though. A nice sky wheelie right there. Gonna wrap it up right in front of the grandstand. ZANE, RETTEW out of Dover, Delaware, and Stinger Unleashed.
Let's hear for ZANE, RETTEW, and Stinger.
We'll see if he indeed took the lead. He hit everything he needed to. A marathon run for him.
The scores are now in. It is a
Big sky wheelie to open things up. Again, kind of cambered off to the right-hand side. Came down hard on that right corner, but his trucks are soaking up the hits they're taking. And then this big jump off of the smooth side of that popper ramp. He had the hang time. Of course, he had some awesome two-wheel moves in there. And again, they always like it when you can go from the stoppy into the moonwalk. And he did that nearly perfectly. I'd say perfectly. Straight back, up and over the face of the ramp. But once he did it right there, he took the top down. And when he came back over that second time, I think the cradle just straight up scrubbed what was left of that stoppy ramp down, so there was no way he was going to get another popper or a stoppy off of that thing. The good thing, though, is he kind of took it out of play for the man coming up behind him. He definitely made life hard on Corey Snyder, but a great run for a score of 25. ZANE, RETTEW taking over the lead, and Stinger Unleashed with one guy to go, and ZANE knew he'd have to do everything he just did because Corey Snyder is getting ready to cut it loose in Toxic. Dirt tracking right there, and if there's one thing Corey's known for, it's keeping up some big momentum. Opens things up with a sky wheelie and some nice air off the backs of those rollers. I didn't think those rollers were going to give us those kinds of jumps, but they are getting some big hits off of those little roller ramps there on the starting line, and some nice hang time right there as Snyder keeping that momentum up. Sky wheelie into a slap wheelie, a nice combo for him right there. Working the track beautifully, a big hit, a little off to the right-hand side. Did nice keeping out of that popper ramp. That could have been a disaster. Corey Snyder trying to work this track to perfection, going for a stoppy. Well, no, I don't think there's enough of that ramp left. And he knows that now too. He indicates something's broken. So Cory Snyder heads back to the pits. After a short run, it was a good run, but I don't think that's going to be anywhere near enough to take ZANE RETTEW down. You can see opens with that dirt track right there. That was awesome. The LEDs glowing under the dust underneath the chassis right there. I told you once the sun went down, that truck was going to show everything it had to offer aesthetically, but that was a good run. Not only is this truck a showpiece, but it is an awesome piece of racing and competition equipment. And Cory Snyder driving it to perfection right there. Standing up on the rear tires, little slap wheelie out of it. And again, this big hang time started to head off to the right-hand side. That could have been a problem, but he straightened it back up, and I think whatever broke right there. He was headed around, but well, you can see his father, Jay, and Kevin Rico were up inside the truck. The clock, by the way, was stopped that whole time. It did not get cleared. So Cory may be able to come back out and finish his run. May not be over for the team out of Maryland. Cory Snyder in Toxic. Having a rough week, but coming back from adversity. Driving hard. I don't know what went wrong with the truck, but they got it back out here and running. And Cory, angry driver right now too. This could get very interesting. And the fireworks are going off. That's the view from one of our track crew down there as Cory throws it into a drifting donut. I don't know if the loss of momentum is going to hurt him or not, but he's definitely making a case to try to win this freestyle right now. I don't think he cares. He just wants to put on a show for the crowd. Another awesome sky wheelie right there as the fireworks go off behind him. That's got to be to his advantage. He's getting the fireworks in his scored run. But Cory Snyder, not disappointing. Wrapping up an awesome little, I don't know if it's an encore or what, because they just scored that run. We're waiting on the actual official scores. This was awesome, though. Look at this drifting donut across the end zone. And we just heard in the background, Cory Snyder wins freestyle with a score of 28 with the fireworks going off in the background. I still don't know what actually happened, but he takes the victory. 2 of 3, ZANE RETTEW with your best trick victory, and Cory is down with Matt Isbell.
Congratulations. Awesome freestyle. You got some power in the background. That's gotta be pretty cool, right? Yeah, I know. Get a little frustrated behind it. You have a great time here tonight, Cory. Congratulations on winning all the victories. Thanks, man. I had a great time. We got to start with me. Dedicated, awesome stuff for shows down the car. And I'm super excited to be a part of it. We have so many more places to go here in Pennsylvania. Just watch out. We're back here next year. We're down. It is this year. I want to thank you all for your freestyle. Your recording, your overall, and thank you for tonight. For the Renegade Monster Truck Tour, it's Cory Snyder in
Cory Snyder taking the big win out of Greensburg, Pennsylvania. What a start to this tour. We've got plenty more coming at you next week. We head to Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. You're not going to want to miss that. By the way, I don't know if you caught it during that interview. It was his Hans device that was malfunctioning. Kevin Rico jumping up in the cab and getting him clipped back in and ready to go. He came out. He wasn't worried about the score. That was all for the fans, but it did net him the victory. Our congratulations to ZANE RETTEW, our best trick champion, and of course, Corey Pappas, our tough truck racing champion. An awesome night to start off the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. Our thanks to the Renegade crew. We will see you next time.